bodhisattvahood, as permanent, or impermanent. And he does not mistakenly say that these beings have been exalted by vision. Those by the stage of refinement. Those by the removal of the lower fetters, those by the removal of the higher fetters, those by pratyeka Buddhahood, or by the knowledge of the modes of the path, or by the knowledge of all modes. And why? Because there does not exist the own being of all these states by which they the beings could be exalted. Endowed with this mental vigor, even at the time of his dying, he works the wheel of beings, but without apprehending them. He fulfills the perfection of vigor, but does not apprehend it. He fulfills the Buddha dharmas, but does not apprehend them. He purifies the Buddha field, but does not apprehend it. Endowed with this physical and mental vigor, he fulfills all the wholesome dharmas, but does not cling to them. Not clinging to them, he passes on from Buddha field to Buddha field, and works the wheel of beings. He works miracles with the help of whichever wonder-working powers he desires to use, whether it be a rain of flowers, or an emission of scents, or by songs and music, or an earthquake, or the splendor of his appearance, or a display of a world system made up of the 7 precious things, or whether he sacrifices himself for the sake of those who want to regain their youth, or of those who are blind to the light, or whether he discharges sense, or bestows great oblations but without taking any life in the process, or introduces countless beings to the path, to whether he induces them to desist from the taking of life, to whether he frees them from wrong views. Some he helps by giving, others by morality, for the sake of others again he renounces all his limbs. To some he gives sons and daughters, and to others a kingdom. For the sake of others he sacrifices himself. In this way he works the wheel of beings by whatever device it can be worked. It is thus that the bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom and is endowed with mental vigor, fulfills the perfection of vigor even though dharmas be signless. And how does the bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, fulfill the perfection of meditation, in spite of the fact that he has stood in dharmas as nameless and signless? Here the bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, fulfills all the concentrations, with the exception of that of the tathagata. Detached from sense desires and other evil and unwholesome dharmas, he dwells as one who has entered on the first trance, which is with applied and discursive thought, born of detachment, full of rapture and ease. And so for the other trances. He dwells as one who has irradiated the entire world with a mind associated with friendliness, too. With impartiality, too. He dwells as one who has entered on the station of neither perception nor nonperception. Having stood in that perfection of meditation, he enters on the 8 emancipations in direct and in reverse order, and emerges from them. He dwells as one who has entered the 9 successive meditational achievements, as well as the concentration on emptiness, the signless concentration and the wishless concentration. He dwells as one who has entered on the unimpeded concentration, the concentration which is like lightning, the right concentration, and the adamantine concentration. Having stood in this perfection of meditation, he dwells as one who has entered the 37 dharmas which act as wings to enlightenment. Having stood in this perception of meditation with the help of the cognition of the knowledge of the modes of the path, he sees that all concentrations are included in the knowledge of the modes of the path. He transcends the stage of right insight, the stage of becoming one of the clan, the 8th lower stage, the stage of vision, the stage of the attenuation of the defilements, the stage where one is without greed, the stage of a pratyeka Buddha, and then moves into a bodhisattva's certainty of salvation and fulfills the stage of a Buddha. And although he courses in these stages, he does not midway attain their fruit before he reaches the cognition of the knowledge of all modes. Having stood in this perfection of meditation, he passes on from Buddha field to Buddha field, honoring the Buddhas and Lords. He honors those Buddhas and Lords, plants wholesome roots in their presence, matures beings and purifies the Buddha field. He passes on from world system to world system and works the wheel of beings. Some he wins over with gifts too. Some with the vision and cognition of emancipation. Some he establishes in the fruit of a stream winner too. Some he establishes in full enlightenment. By whatever wholesome dharmas the beings may be lifted up, just those he enjoins on them. Having stood in this perfection of meditation, he consummates all the Rani doors, and acquires the four analytical knowledges. And he becomes a recipient of the superknowledges which are born of karma result. Never again is he born in the belly of a mother, and never again does he pursue sense pleasures. There is no kind of rebirth that he does not take up, though he is not polluted by the faults which are apt to attend a rebirth. And why? Because he has well seen that all dharmas are like a magical illusion. Having known that all conditioned things are like a magical illusion, he works the wheel of all beings without, however, apprehending therein any beings or the concept of a being. Himself non-apprehending, he establishes beings in the baselessness of all dharmas, though on account of worldly convention and not in ultimate reality. Having stood in this perfection of meditation, he courses in all the trances, emancipations, concentrations, and meditational attainments, and he will never again be lacking in the perfection of meditation until the time that he wins the supreme enlightenment. Having stood in this knowledge of the modes of the path, he consummates the knowledge of all modes. Having stood therein, he forsakes the residues of all the defilements. He then works his own wheel and that of others. Thereupon he becomes worthy of gifts from the world with its gods, men and asuras. It is thus that the bodhisattva who courses in perfect wisdom fulfills the perfection of meditation. The single instantaneous reunion with regard to all dharmas without outflows which have reached the state where their karma result has matured. And how does the bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, among signless dharmas go to the fulfillment of the development of the perfection of wisdom? Here the bodhisattva who courses in perfect wisdom does not review any dharma as truly real, or as totally real. But he does not review the true or total reality with regard to the skandhas. Nor does he review their production, the door of their arrival, or their heaping together, and so on, until we come to. He does not review the door of arrival of all dharmas with and without outflows, but he reviews them as just vanities or nullities. And when he considers thus, he does not apprehend the own being of any dharma. Coursing in perfect wisdom, he firmly believes that all dharmas have non-existence for own being. Having firmly believed that, he courses in the emptinesses, and does not settle down in any dharma whatsoever. Coursing in a perfection of wisdom which is non-existent in its own being, he fulfills the path of a bodhisattva, i.e., the 6 perfections, 2. The 80 minor characteristics. Having stood in the path to enlightenment which has the nature of being a karma result. When he has fulfilled the 6 perfections, the 37 wings to enlightenment, and the superknowledges which are born from karma result, he helps with gifts those beings who should be helped with gifts. And so he helps them with morality, patience, vigor, concentration, wisdom, emancipation, and the vision and cognition of emancipation. He establishes in the fruit of a stream winner those who should be established in the fruit of a stream winner, 2. He establishes in full enlightenment those who should be established in full enlightenment. And so all this should be done in full detail. Working miracles with his manifold wonder-working powers, he travels to world systems numerous as the sands of the Ganges, and he conjures up all those precious things which he planned to produce. Fulfilling the intentions of beings, he passes on from Buddha field to Buddha field. When he has seen those world systems, he acquires the Buddha field which he wishes to acquire, and therein there will be all the enjoyments and their objects which are found among the gods who hold sway over the enjoyments magically created by others, or which can be had in other Buddha fields without having to strive for them. Through those karma resultant 6 perfections and superknowledges, as well as the path to enlightenment which is born of karma result, he attains coursing in the knowledge of the modes of the path, the fulfillment of all dharmas, and will reach the knowledge of all modes, and so on. If all dharmas have not been taken hold of, then for someone who has known the supreme enlightenment, all the enjoyments and objects of enjoyment in this Buddha field will be something that he has not taken hold of. And why? Because all dharmas have not been taken hold of on account of their baselessness. And he teaches the dharma to beings so that they may not take hold of any dharma. It is thus that the bodhisattva, who courses in perfect wisdom, fulfills the perfection of wisdom by way of signlessness. End chapter 71.